Hi everyone, Maryann here, revealing light tarot, astrology and spirituality. How are you wherever you are in the world when you're watching? A huge shout out to you. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for the ways in which you support my channel in whatever way you choose to do. I'm very much grateful for that. I want to look at will Trump be on the ballot in 2024 first? We'll do an update on that, and also if he is, will Biden beat him? There's polls, and I do want to caution people about responding to polls, even though I'm going to answer your question, because I've received several emails to say, can you please look at the election? The polls came out and show that Trump's in front. Well, to put it bluntly, I just don't trust the polls. I really don't. They are wrong on so many occasions. They were wrong in 2020 when they said Trump was ahead. They were wrong in Australia when they said that the coalition government would win, and it didn't. The Labor government did. The media, the New York Times poll, you have to question motives. There's a lot of clickbait, there's a lot of drumming up of dissension, of worry, of anxiety. So please, I caution you when you read polls. There are other national polls that put Biden ahead of Trump, and the independent candidate, Robert Kennedy, taking votes away from Trump. I thought that was rather hilarious. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's get started. Then we'll move to the Middle East and then Ukraine. So let's get started with will Trump actually be on the ballot in 2024? Will Trump, it's going to go all the way to the High Court. I did actually say there was standing in, is it, which state is it now? Is it Arizona? Whichever state, sorry, Colorado, whichever state is holding that trial, and I know Minnesota is also doing so, and there are a number of other states that in the end all states will have to ratify this. They're probably waiting for a Supreme Court judgment. It does go all the way. I saw the Supreme Court in my clairvoyant image. So the question would be, which way will the Supreme Court rule on this? So let's start there. Will the Supreme Court find that Trump cannot be on the ballot in 2024? Will the Supreme Court find that Trump cannot be on the ballot for his role in the insurrection in 2024? Will the Supreme Court find Trump is ineligible, is the word, ineligible to be president in 2024, be a presidential candidate or president ever again in 2024. Okay, let's see what the cards have got to say. So we get a judgment straight out of the gate there. There's an inevitability about something here, the last judgment. And then we get the King of Swords, we get the prosecutor, the rule of law, the logic, the law. The King of Swords to me is prosecution, it's the law, and then we get judgment. So we've got some fairly clear cards happening here. I'm using the gold and black tarot. Then we get the Emperor here. That's what I saw at the foundation of the reading. It is the presidential office at the foundation of the reading. So, all jokes aside, people, this is quite serious, and this will be a serious judgment. We get disappointment in the past, 3 cups remaining, 3 cups lost, 1 remaining. And that's a good card for Trump. It talks about someone who's belligerent, someone who has their back to the wall, someone who's not acknowledging loss, somebody who sees a lifeline, some sort of lifeline. That is in the past. Is that the big lie? Now we have walking away and loss, which is crowning this reading. Now, the Supreme Court can say they don't want to take the case. I don't think that's what that 8 of Cups is about, but we'll keep going. We have the King of Cups in the immediate future, which is emotional maturity. It is my card for Joe Biden's presidency as well. Let's keep going. Will he be ineligible? So we have the Knight of Cups here. This is, again, that cup appearing. The Knight of Cups can be a quick energy. It can be a lifeline that's in the present. And we have the Devil in the environment around, which, of course, is, I don't want to say bribes, but there's people that, well, this is for entertainment purposes only, but it looks like there's some sort of deal with the devil going on here. That's in the present. You can interpret that the way that you want to. However, the hope and the fear is the truth emerging. And it's more than the truth. It's clarity. It's absolute crystal clarity on the truth. And then we get the Three of Cups, which is celebration. It is a yes card, and we get new starts. So these cards are in it. Will they rule that he's ineligible? I mean, I'm getting fairly strong yes cards, and it's something to do with the past, something that he did in the past. And then we got wounded. We've got wounded, retreat. Base of the pack, we get illusion, delusion, choices. Queen of Wands. She will take the fight, the motivation right up to there could even be, the females on the court, and then we get strength on the Supreme Court. I actually do think they will take the case. These are straight out yes cards, and we get mortally wounded, and this would fit with clairvoyant images in the past that he just disappears when I read on the election, and I feel that it is Nikki Haley that is the presidential candidate. So I just want to put that out there, and I can draw a clarifier for you. We get such strong yes cards. So will they find that Donald Trump is ineligible to run? Show me this Three of Cups. Will they find Donald Trump is ineligible to run? And we get here the Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving help. And then we get contracts between two people and wish fulfillment. And the Chariot. You know, I know that they'll rule. They'll rule on the rule of law. We get logic being applied to theft, deception, and we get the Star card here. I just want to say that even though you think the Supreme Court might help Donald Trump, those Republican people on the Supreme Court who keep taking money from billionaires and gifts and all those sorts of things, don't necessarily assume that they want Trump to be the candidate. He is against the Constitution and rule of law, and these are judges on a court of law. They're going to apply the law, I think, the law of the Constitution, and I'm going to say that yes, Trump is already trying to influence the Supreme Court in whatever way that they do get influenced. If they get influenced, allegedly get influenced. But I feel that they might very well find that he's ineligible to run. Okay, so that is what I see. Who might take that case up to the Supreme Court? Well, obviously it could be Tribe, it could be Judge, what's his name, Luteg, and Neil Katyal. That would be a powerful trio. Again, there will be three prominent lawyers who will be representing the case to have him disqualified. I think they win. Okay, but just let's take a look at, can Biden win against Trump? I mean, that's the thing that you're most concerned about. As I said, I'll just take the hands off the card. I don't think. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't even think Trump will be on the ballot. I think Biden might be facing Nikki Haley. Anyway, let's keep it going. If Trump is on the ballot, Can Biden defeat Trump? Can Biden win against Trump? Can Biden win against Trump? Can Biden win against Trump? So we get the Four of Pentacles that has just jumped out. There's a lot of insecurity around. Can Biden win against Trump in the 2024 election? Can Biden win against Trump in the 20... I'm seeing the past card, the Six of Cups, and we get the Strength. Strength, straight out of the bag, and the Three of Pentacles, building something, working together. They're good cards. They are really good cards for the question, signifier cards, you know, that for the question that I asked. You know, a lot of... It's normal to be worried about this question. I mean, really, nobody should be supporting Trump after he tried to overturn the Constitution. Well, that's what he would have done in his insurrection. And yet, he still enjoys levels of support. It's a uncertain world. Trump is perceived as because he's in with the authoritarian leaders, it's somehow keeping peace. I bet the Russians probably thought this about Putin at one point too. Okay, let's keep going. Look at the High Priestess, Secrets. That's at the base of the pack. Secrets, intuition. We'll do a clarifier on that. The Page of Wands in the past. He did have a lot of support for young people, and that's the demographic in the past, in 2020. That's the demographic he's got to try and get to. Two of Pentacles. This can be manipulation, but it's also choices, walking a tightrope. And that would fit because that is what Biden is walking at this time. 80% of the Democratic Party in a poll, if you want to take note of any poll, for what it's worth, take it with a grain of salt, want a ceasefire, want more to be done to help the refugees and other innocents in Gaza. They don't approve of wholesale support of the way Netanyahu is doing things. So we have restriction, we have fear. That's almost bordering on paranoia here. We've got the Chariot in the here and now, things speeding up. What is happening across the world is making people nervous, but we are a year outside of an election. We get the Lovers here, the Lovers card, relationships, also the Trump card as well. He is a Gemini. We get what in the hopes and fears. Obviously, people's budgets, people's cost of living, that's all in their fears around this question. They actually think in the polls that, again, grain of salt, that Trump would do better on the economy and their standard of living. I'm not sure why they think that when Biden's figures, the actual economic evidence is so much better. But, of course, we always want something that we maybe don't know enough about. Certainly Trump mishandled the economy when he was president and racked up a lot of debt. Okay, so we get confusion right now. We get it clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, thank you. And the Fool card. So these are major arcanas clarifying this. Queen of Cups, care, self-care. And there's going to be so much anxiety around what the Republicans might do, what Trump might do. People are going to get out and vote. This is a time with what is happening in the Middle East, what has happened in Ukraine. The economy is playing heavily into this. This is a period of confusion. So I think probably what I would suggest, it suggests the confusion clears and we get the Wheel of Fortune and the Fool card. Coming through. So as time goes on, this confusion that we're now seeing will start to lift. We get the Ace of Cups, the Page of Pentacles. Again, young people might come back on board. We have the King of Wands, and we have the Justice card. I think he's successfully, as we move more and more into Trump facing justice, I think that that the fog clears and that people realise exactly what's on the line. And I think that the polls aren't entirely 100% accurate. Of course, some of you are saying, well, can he win against Nikki Haley? If you think Nikki Haley's going to be the candidate, can he win against Nikki Haley? Well, let's have a look. All right, can Biden win against Nikki Haley? Can Biden win against Nikki Haley? Can Biden win against Nikki Haley? She'll be a tough, very tough competitor. Okay, so we have insecurity here and the Ace of Wands. A plan, new starts, project, motivated. Bombshells, something that we're not expecting. Queen of Pentacles in the past, domestic security. We have crossroads, heavy decisions to be made. I think this would be in some way, a harder battle than the baggage that Trump would bring. We have Three of Wands, though. Biden's experience would really triumph here. And it is on foreign policy, even though people perceive in these polls that Trump is better on foreign policy. Like, anyway, all right. Biden is in this as it relates to Haley. Biden's perceived as quite more experienced than Haley. We've got high anxiety and abuse of power. Regardless of who the Republican candidate is, there's a lack of trust there. We get endings and beginnings in the hopes and fears, and we get the Star of Hope. So, yeah, he can, although it might be more close than people would like. Something coming to fruition in time. And we get the Hierophant, the Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court and as the justice is done, it's going to be very difficult for someone like Haley to explain her support for Trump. We get the Eight of Cups here. We get the partisanship. We get manifestation and defending oneself, and then judgment, the Judgment card. So I think it would probably in some ways be closer than, and I know that sounds outlandish, but we're a year out. However, Biden does still win that 2024 election. Okay, let's move to the Middle East. Let's move to the Middle East now. Let's change decks while I'm here. So the Gold and Black Tarot. Now I'm moving to the Gilded Tarot by Cairo Marchetti. Okay, let's take a look at the Middle East. Let's take a look at the Middle East. Will there be ceasefire in the near future for whatever reason? Will there be ceasefire? I know that Blinken is in the Middle East, the US Secretary of State. Will there be even a pause, humanitarian pause or ceasefire in the Middle East, in Gaza at this time? For whatever reason, humanitarian pause or a ceasefire. Will there be a pause or a ceasefire in the Middle East at this time or in the near future? So we get Eight of Swords, restriction, hands tied, but we get hope. Okay, so we should all focus, if we can, on hope. Hope that a ceasefire will will prevail, or a pause, humanitarian pause will prevail. We have the Five of Swords, and we get a clear abuse of power, obviously on Hamas's side, and obviously on Netanyahu's side. I think that's the evidence is there for that. We have strength in the past. That's interesting. The strength of both sides is waning. We get the Page of Swords, an uncomfortable truth in this deck. I've always thought that this Page of Swords looks like it's like the spy in the camp. It's like some kind of nefariousness here. We have the Page of Pentacles in the immediate future. That's actually not a bad card. The Page of Pentacles talks about movement forward. I think there is a huge concern here around the killing of children in Gaza that is occurring at this time. We've got many people working on this. We don't necessarily see what's going behind the scenes, but the US and the Arab states, the UN, all working on what comes next. We have the Knight of Cups, some kind of intervention. That's the environment around this a pause. All efforts are going on to pausing this, and one would hope when there is this humanitarian pause, hostage negotiations can be carried out, which would fulfill the wish of the Israeli families of hostages. The hope is for moderation and temperance, and the outcome is the Empress card. It is a yes card, and also I'm picking up Russia's involvement in all of this. We know that the Wagner Group trained Hamas. We know that Putin hosted Hamas. There's some kind of truth coming out here, and we get manipulation. And this leads me directly into my next question. Yes, there will be a pause, if nothing else, in the near future. We get the Crossroads card, and we get illusion and delusion. All is not how it seems, and we've got the quotes about eradication, razing Gaza to the ground, and getting rid of the Palestinian problem from Israeli ministers. We know that they've said this in the past and are saying this now. We get decisions, heavy decisions to be made, and a lot of loss and a lot of secrets being held about who and how this happened. The truth is going to emerge. The truth is emerging, as sad and heartbreaking as it is, around who supported Hamas for years. Well, that actually was Netanyahu. He is quoted in the Jerusalem Post and the Indian Times as saying, it's better for us if Hamas is in power in Gaza and the PLO on the West Bank, because keeping them separate there's less likelihood of a Palestinian state coming into fruition. A lot of money, humanitarian aid, has gone via Israel into Gaza. So it didn't go straight into Gaza, it went via Israel. At one point in that article, it was something like $30 million, was it a month? Coming from Qatar to Gaza via Israel. There's a lot of secrets that Netanyahu may be keeping. All right, let's have a look. Will Netanyahu be removed? They want calls for his removal before. He is keeping secrets about how this happened. Show me, will Netanyahu be removed by the Israeli people? Will Netanyahu be removed by the Israeli people? Three of Pentacles. There are currently moves, but we also get contracts, commitments, relationships. We get the Ten of Wands, heavy burdens, the ending of old cycles. We get the Nine of Pentacles in the past. Netanyahu's on bribe and fraud charges already, as I said. Multi-millions have gone into Gaza via Israel. Many Russian oligarchs have their money in Israel. They actually produced a paper to pay off all of Egypt's debt if they take the Palestinians, and the Palestinians go to the Sinai desert. This is in the past. Where there's money, inevitably there's corruption. We have the Queen of Swords here, logic and the truth prevailing. That's crowning this reading. We get the moon, secrets coming to the surface here. This is to do with Netanyahu and money. Okay, we get the Lovers card, his relationships. This is also Trumpian as well. And the Ten of Cups, families, the people. Okay, so let's keep going. The Sun, full illumination, as in the hopes and fears. We get the Knight of Wands moving on. So I see him being moved on. I don't know how soon this is, but the Eight of Wands suggests it's pretty soon. So I wonder how many Israeli hostages have been killed by Israeli bombs. That's what I wonder. We get something coming up, and then we get pausing, cease, like some kind of pause in things. Okay, he has to defend himself. He is going. Something is going to emerge. Some sort of truth is going to come forward relating to this, and we get endings and beginnings. It will be a good day when someone else is in charge. We get almost like a treasonous thing here. Total control and the Tower card. I don't think anyone is deaf or dumb to the implications of Netanyahu's close ties with Russia and Putin, and why he ignored his own intelligence briefings on this Hamas attack. There, you have it. Okay, one last question on Ukraine. So let's not forget, their country was invaded by Putin. In a way, America was invaded by Putin, just didn't have boots on the ground. But this is what we're moving through at this time, and that's why the election in 2024 is so important. Okay, can Ukraine win against Russia? Can Ukraine win? Can Ukraine drive Russia out of its territory? Can Ukraine defeat Russia, drive Russia out of its territory? Can Ukraine drive... House of Cards. So what I think, we think that everything's stable in Russia. I keep saying this, but with Putin's health called into question, if Putin was no longer there, how many cards, how many dominoes would fall? Can Ukraine defeat Russia in any way, whether that's a peace deal, drive them out? Can Ukraine win? So you have the King of Swords here. Zelensky is an Aquarian from memory. I think so is Putin. This is the prosecutor, and then we get isolation. Okay, so there is a degree of pulling away from Ukraine at this time. They are fighting a battle, not so much with Europe is supporting them still, but it's very hard for them. It's uphill. They are literally fighting the devil. The Ten of Pentacles is in the past. The money that they needed, that's in the past. We have justice in the sky. I like this. I'm reminded, even though logically we can't see justice occurring at this time, justice will be done. Incredible loss of life there in the immediate future. I think the cessation or the limits on funding. It does affect them. We get the Nine of Cups, wish fulfilled in the here and now, but we get the Moon card. Three in the environment around things that we can't see. Things coming from the surface. In hopes and fears, we have the Three of Pentacles. They need support to keep going. They need the monetary support to keep going. However, the outcome card is the Page of Wands, sitting alongside the Justice card. The High Priestess here, events that we cannot necessarily see at this time will augur well for Ukraine. Judgment. There's an inevitability of something here. Giving and receiving help. We get the Ace of Cups and the Chariot. They can successfully defend themselves. They can push Russia back. But I feel there's something else that may occur. And I'm going to do one last question because I know that this video is getting long. And that is on Putin's health. Putin's health. Putin's health. It was rumoured he had a heart attack. It's rumoured that he's no longer living. I can tell you he is living. Yes, he does use body doubles in some way, but he's still very much alive. But he is in ill health, and I've said this for a long time. Putin. Will Putin survive? Will Putin survive? Let's say, will Putin still be here, living? Will Putin still be living in the next 2 years? Will Putin still be alive in the next 2 years? Will Putin still be alive in the next 2 years? So I'm seeing thank you. So I'm seeing what is like a canyon, two dark sort of cliff faces, and there's light in between, and that is closing. The canyon is closing, so there's total darkness. Okay, so we get the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups was in the sky in that vision. The Ace of Cups, that's interesting. Justice, karmic justice, isolation. Wow. Okay, so we get new emotional starts, isolation. The Sun card is at the base of the pack. The Sun will come out again. The Lovers in the past, that's in the past. The people that supported him. Trump is in the past. We get money in the sky, the Ten of Pentacles. But the Seven of Pentacles, though, in the near future, economic downturn in Russia is very much indicated here. People are thinking again. So you have the Three of Wands in the here and now, overseas, foreign shores, waiting for one ship to come in, and the Chariot moving very, very quickly. I think this is Putin looking at what is unfolding in the Middle East. All is going to plan for him at this time. The Nine of Wands. The truth is that that the economy in Russia, the battle with Ukraine has taken its toll. We have the Eight of Pentacles. So this is an apprentice here, someone with great skill, and we have the Nine of Swords, very much worried about those around him, and then we have the Star. So we have a great worry around his number two, even other people taking, as it is in Russia, an abuse of power. I'll get a clarifier on that. Looks like it's looking like an end of a cycle, the judgment, the last judgment. What happens after the Ten of Wands is the Ace of Wands, the newness begins. There is stuff here we cannot see, the High Priestess, the past and those that encircle him. So two things in relation to this question. That's basically a yes and no card, so I'll draw a clarifier. The economy is the economic downturn is propelling disloyalty to him, and there are people working behind the scenes here against Putin. Let's draw. I'm just getting his apprentice. All right, show me this 8 of Pentacles and 9 of Swords. He's worried. Okay, so show me, will he be removed in any way? Poisoned, taken out, heart attack, so-called heart attack. Whatever this is, does Putin stay in power over the next couple of years? Show me the 8 of Pentacles, the Apprenticed. Okay, so we get death. Okay, so someone coming up in the ranks is likely to succeed him, and we get victory. We get the end and victory for somebody else, whoever his apprentice is. We get a more moderate approach here and a new start. The Ace of Cups, which was in the sky. He should be worried, Putin. He does have a lot of enemies here. I do see his death within the next... Within. So karma, as I said, has a way of coming through. So don't just live in the present moment and understand that all is as it is meant to be. Even though events are shocking, even though our worry gets the best of us, there's a karmic resolution here with Putin. And it involves his downfall, his ending, let's just put it like that. All right, thanks for tuning in, and bye for now.